Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 2, Episode 2, Invasion of the Squirrelanoids. Now, this episode, I feel like it was sort of a filler episode, but at the same time, it wasn't because it was obviously, the first episode after the season premiere. And it's the first episode where the Turtles have to deal with a mutagen problem. And in this episode, it starts off fairly simple with the squirrel, kind of just, being mutated, and it has like a creepy long tongue and its mouth kind of splits open. And then it got really gross when it like went into the guy's mouth, and then, of course it multiplies, and, the guy basically spits it out, or he spits out two squirrels that are, now mutated. But the entire episode I thought was really good. It seemed like it was going to be simple at first because the squirrels were just, squirrels with like, creepy long tongues and, open mouths. And, they kind of do it as sort of the Halloween episode where, the whole episode Mikey's reading the comic book and basically everything's happening. And it's a lot like Alien. And in the end of the episode, the, when the squirrels go through like their final mutation, they look a lot like, the alien creatures from Alien, kind of mixed with necromorphs, which are from the video game Dead Space. And so like these big creatures and stuff, and it was actually a really good episode. The action I thought was really cool. One of my favorite things, we got to see Splinter fight again, and it was for a small amount of time, but we got to see Splinter actually fight, which is always really cool. And he just beat all three of them up, and he always comes in, he always comes to the rescue for the turtles when they're pretty much outnumbered, or at least outmatched in this case. And so he beat them up, but in the end of the episode they do take back the win against the Squirrelanoids. It was a cool episode, and Mikey through the whole thing was of course really funny because he was pretty much comparing everything that happened to what he was reading in his comic book. And he comes up with the plan in the end of the episode that does actually help them win, even though it doesn't of course end the Squirrelanoids, because they of course tease at the end of the episode they are still alive when they capture the one random guy who just made me so mad because he ate that popcorn off the ground. I don't know why I got so mad about that. I was like, I just like that fake character made me so mad. It was like, why are you just eating popcorn off the ground in the sewer? He's like, it's a little chewy. He's like, it's sewer popcorn. It's gross. But he got eaten anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. But the episode was really good. It had, of course, comedy, action, not really any drama, not really. But it's Ninja Turtles. It doesn't really need too much drama, especially not for an episode with the mutated squirrels. When they get more into actual humans, I think it'll be a lot more dramatic. Where some of the people probably have a bit of a better sense of who they used to be when they were human, because obviously the mutagen does kind of make people go crazy. So for some people, it could be random, less mutagen or more mutagen, so it'd be crazier compared to someone else who's just slightly mutated and kind of going crazy, sort of like a Hulk type situation where they can't really control themselves. So I think that'll have more of a dramatic impact compared to just squirrels who really like popcorn and mutate. But it was a really good episode, a lot of good comedy. One of my favorite parts is when Splinter basically wants the turtles to go into the sewer to find the Squirrelanoids because they escape after Splinter beats them up. And he says, which of you want to prove that you're the bravest and the strongest and stuff like that. And then the next scene is like Metalhead walking through the sewer, and Donnie's like, Master Splinter, I'm pretty sure there's a lesson in here about smarts being better than bravery or something. And Splinter's like, yeah, or something seems about right. And I thought that was a really good line. But it was funny because that's just what Donnie does. He was smart, and everyone was pretty much freaking out from these giant mutated squirrels. So that was his plan. But eventually the turtles do go out, and it was a really good action scene at the end of the episode, I thought personally. They're just going around flipping weapons, doing kicks and flips, all the cool ninja action that they do. But I love the episode. I'm excited for whatever they happen to do for next week. But this episode I think was a good start to the mutagen outbreak, really. And something they kind of note in the beginning is that there's so much that it was hard for them to even pinpoint just one specific canister. So it really shows that there's so much in the city. They could have tons of problems. They could have people mutate with other people and things like that. So who knows how that'll play out for the rest of the season. But I'm excited for where it's going. So far, still enjoying season two. Still enjoying the series as a whole. I'm just really waiting for Casey, and I'm definitely excited to see what they do with April now that she's kind of detached herself from the turtles after she found out why the mutagen fell. So I'm excited to see where they go with April when Casey's coming in, because that's what I want to see most. Because he's Casey, so new character, that's great. And Shredder and Karai, mostly Karai and Splinter. I'm excited to see how that actually comes back into the fold, because I want to see them actually fight against other ninjas, and I don't want them to just fight mutants the entire season. But I feel like that'll be most likely. But I'm sure they can't just leave out Splinter and Karai the whole season. So definitely excited to see when they come back and get into the action as well. But comment below, let me know what you thought of this episode. Favorite parts, least favorite parts, if you had one. Um, I think I asked who's your favorite turtle, but for now, who's your favorite villain? And it doesn't have to be anyone that's just been in this show. Just in general, the whole Turtles universe. It could be Baxter Stockman, and personally, I enjoy the Baxter Stockman from like the old '80s cartoon better than this one, because he was kind of like the Fly, and I thought that actually made him cooler. Even though like that's the one tape I have of that show, so those are like the only three episodes I've ever seen. But he kind of gets like zapped into an alternate dimension by the end of those three episodes anyway, so he's kind of gone. But in this one, he's still just the genius human character, so we might get to see him actually end up mutated into a fly. And I think that would be really cool, because when they did that in the old show, he actually became a real serious threat. And he was kind of a threat to everyone, because he was mad at Shredder for causing that to happen, and he hated the Turtles too, because they were all responsible. So hopefully that does happen in this, because that made him a lot cooler in the old show, and I think it would make him a lot cooler now too. Because for now he's really just the tech guy who always loses, and now of course he works under Shredder. But who's your favorite villain so far? Mine would have to be either Shredder or Karai. Maybe Karai in this, just because of her story. But you can't hate Shredder either. Well, you can hate him, but he can still be your favorite villain. So who's your favorite villain? And obviously, like I said, comment below, let me know favorite parts, least favorite parts of this episode, and what do you want to see come up really soon outside of Casey, because I think that's what everyone would say. But what do you want to see more than anything else in this series? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.